The morning sun slowly rose over the city of Jerusalem, covering the stone streets with golden light. Merchants opened their shops. Children ran beside their parents. Priests hurried toward the temple courts. The city was alive with noise, movement, and prayer. But beside the great temple gate called Beautiful sat a man whose life had never been beautiful at all. Every single day, people carried him to the same spot. He could not walk. Since the day he was born, his legs had been weak and useless. He had never taken a single step in his entire life. He had never run as a child, never climbed a hill, and never danced during festivals like everyone else. Instead, he sat on the cold ground and begged strangers for money. "Please," he would whisper as people passed by. "Help a poor man." Some people dropped small coins into his hands. Others ignored him completely. Many walked past as if he did not even exist. The man had grown used to disappointment. His clothes were old and dusty. His hands were rough from dragging himself along the ground. Each day felt exactly the same as the day before. Deep inside, he wondered if God had forgotten him. That afternoon, the temple was crowded because it was nearly the hour of prayer. Worshippers streamed through the gates carrying offerings and speaking quietly with one another. The lame man lifted his tired eyes as two men approached the gate. They were not rich men. Their robes were simple, and their sandals were dusty from walking. Yet there was something different about them. Peace seemed to rest on their faces. These men were Peter and John, followers of Jesus Christ. As they came near the gate, the beggar stretched out his hand automatically. "Please," he said weakly, expecting only another small coin. "Can you spare something for me?" Most people would have kept walking, but Peter stopped. John stopped too. The crowd continued moving around them, but Peter's eyes remained fixed on the man sitting helplessly on the ground. For a moment, the beggar felt uncomfortable. People rarely looked directly at him. Usually they avoided his eyes. Usually they pitied him. But this man looked at him with kindness. Then Peter spoke. "Look at us." The lame man quickly lifted his head. His heart beat faster. Maybe these men were about to give him a large gift. Maybe today would finally be different. He stared at them with hope. Peter reached into his robe, but there was no money there. No silver coins. No gold. Then Peter said words the man never expected to hear. "Silver and gold I do not have." At once, disappointment filled the beggar's face. He lowered his eyes again. Another empty promise, he thought sadly. But Peter was not finished speaking. "What I do have," Peter continued boldly, "I give to you." The noise around them suddenly seemed to fade. Peter stepped closer to the helpless man and declared with authority, "In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk." The beggar froze. Walk? How could he walk? He had never walked a single day in his life. The crowd nearby began slowing down, watching carefully. Some whispered to each other in confusion. Others stared with wide eyes. Peter then stretched out his strong hand toward the lame man. And in that single moment, everything was about to change forever. The lame man stared at Peter in complete shock. "Rise up and walk." Those words echoed loudly in his mind. For years, doctors had failed him. Friends had pitied him. Strangers had ignored him. His legs had never moved properly, not once since the day he was born. Yet Peter stood before him with unshakable confidence, his hand still stretched forward. Around them, people stopped walking through the temple gate. The noise of the crowd slowly faded into whispers. "What is happening? Isn't that the beggar who sits here every day? Why are they talking to him like that?" The lame man's heart pounded hard inside his chest. Part of him wanted to believe. Another part was afraid. What if nothing happened? What if the crowd laughed at him again? But there was something powerful in Peter's voice. Something filled with faith and certainty. Slowly, trembling with uncertainty, the beggar lifted his weak hand and placed it into Peter's hand. Peter gripped him firmly. Then Peter pulled him upward. For a split second, the man expected to fall back to the ground as he always had. His legs had never supported his weight before. But suddenly, strength rushed through his feet like fire. His ankles tightened. His knees became strong. Life flowed through muscles that had never worked before. The man gasped loudly. He could feel his legs. His eyes widened in disbelief as he stood upright for the very first time in his life. The crowd fell silent. The beggar looked down at his feet, afraid the miracle might disappear. Slowly, carefully, he shifted his weight from one leg to the other. He did not fall.